Hey guys, welcome back. This is a preview for Man United's game against Norwich. We play them tomorrow at 5:30 in the Premier League, and for me, it's a must-win fixture. We've got a batch of, I'd say, 10 fixtures, which are pretty favourable. Two of which are West Ham and Villa, and so I'd say they are potential banana skins. So maybe we drop points there, but aside from that, so 8 wins, including the one tomorrow, is what I'm hoping and expecting. I think teams like Norwich, rock bottom in the Premier League, it's really an opportunity to stamp our authority, increase our confidence, and get 3 points. We're currently sixth place in the league behind Spurs, West Ham, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. We're 1 point ahead of Arsenal, so we could do with creating a bit of breathing room from the rest of the pack and really just cementing ourselves in that top four. I think before the season started, top four was really the minimum for us. So the fact that we're floating out of there, it's not good enough. And these fixtures coming up are the perfect sort of time to rectify that. Looking at Norwich, they brought in Dean Smith, and they've had a small upturn in form, but still not particularly impressive. I wouldn't think it's a team we should be worried by. Spurs beat them 3-0. They drew 2 games before that. I think they lost the game before that as well. They got Pookie, who's definitely a goal threat, and he's got some goals this season. But once again, that should not be enough to worry us. I think a lot of the times against teams like these, it's a lot more about what we bring to the table than it is about what they have to potentially worry us. If we play to our level of performance, there's no reason we shouldn't be picking up 3 points. And so that's what I'm expecting. Now, I watched Rangnick's press conference earlier today, and I do find them pretty interesting. I feel he's quite straight talking. He reveals quite a bit, whether that be tactically or from a squad sort of injury perspective. And he mentioned a couple of things which I found interesting. Firstly, David De Gea being the number one. So it sounds like he will be starting the games moving forward. I think I said it in a previous video. I did feel Henderson would push De Gea for his spot, particularly because I think Henderson's more proactive as a goalkeeper. He's not rooted to his goal line. He comes and sweeps, and if balls are played over the top, he's able to cut them out. So I was surprised to hear that, but I guess we'll see how things go, whether or not that remains to be the case. He did also mention Paul Pogba was apparently he's coming back today, and it will take a couple of weeks to get fit, and then a couple more weeks to get match fit. So maybe a month before we start seeing him in the 11, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. And I think that was pretty much it in terms of the notable sort of information from the press conference. I guess it's worth mentioning Matic has a bit of a cold, so may not necessarily be available for the game tomorrow. Wan-Bissaka's got a couple of knocks, may not be available as well. But neither of those two players I was expecting to see in our starting lineup, given their performances over the last couple of games. Now, in terms of my predicted lineup, I think it's going to be very similar to the team we played against Palace. He mentioned that he was impressed, pleasantly surprised with how much they had taken of his sort of tactical advice and instruction. And so with that, I am assuming he's going to play a lot of the players that he played against Palace. So starting from the back, I imagine De Gea will be playing in goal with Delo, Maguire, Lindelof and Shaw as the back line. Yes, Teleb was quite strong against Palace, but I think, Shaw just generally is a better defender and a better player, and I see him being favoured above him, provided he's fit. So that is really the one question mark. Moving forward, Fred and McTominay as the pivot. That will likely be the two centre mids. In front of them, Sancho and Fernandes, and then in front of them also Ronaldo and Rashford. So it's landing up in that 4-2-2-2, which we saw in the fixture last week. Now, my prediction for the scoreline, I'm seeing us scoring goals really. If you look at how Norwich played against Spurs, Spurs were able to put 3 past them, and they're not particularly much of an attacking threat. So us, with our side, with the resources we have available, I would imagine that we do a similar thing. So 3-0 is the prediction I'm going for. What I'm looking to see from us really is a continuation of what I saw last week. You know, I want to see, because I think earlier in the week when we played, and yes, we did play a completely different 11, but I noticed that there was a really big gap between our defensive line and our attacking line, and that allowed the game to be very open. It didn't allow us to sort of maintain our position in young boys' side of the pitch, which is something we did against Palace. So I'll be looking out for that we maintain that high line, that we maintain that intensity. But the one thing against Palace, which I mentioned as a negative, which is that we didn't create as many high quality chances. The execution in the final third was lacking, and so we didn't actually take advantage of our domination until it must have been 60, 70 minutes when Fred scored that goal. I'd like to see us take advantage and actually create high quality chances earlier on in the game, and also put them away. So that's another thing I'm really hoping to see. You know, the sort of players that I was thinking were pushing for starting. So that's my preview for the game tomorrow. I'll be doing a review as well after the game. In the meantime, do like this video and comment. Let me know your predicted lineup or your predicted scoreline as well, and also subscribe. But until then, I'll see you at the next video.